For debut feature screenplay for one Charles Larson, and it is a good one. I was impressed with this film's screenplay and understand why it was made despite Larson having only a writing credit on an apparently educational short film titled Magic on a Stick. This screenplay was considered worthwhile enough to place Allan Dwan at the helm, although they, the producers, may have not realized the degree to which they could ensure potential quality control on a feature film set by hiring Dwan, that is. Also credited next to Dwan is the director Phillip Ford. Phillip Ford is the son of Francis Ford, and thereby the nephew of Mr. John Ford. Francis Ford was an early film director in California, directing and starring in several westerns, and by 1917 he was mentoring his younger brother John. Both Francis and John Feeney had adopted the surname Ford, as did Philip later. John's success would surpass his elder brothers at a seemingly rapid pace, and by the later 1920s it would appear that Francis could not get a job directing features, although he was still rather prolific as an actor. For a little while there anyway. Phillip Ford worked as a director between 1945 and 1964, his later career in television predominantly. I am unsure why it was that both Phillip Ford and Allan Dwan were collaborating here. Perhaps one was fired and the other brought in. I have no idea. Whatever happened, the end result is a film which is better directed and has a more refined sense of visual style than the average picture of its kind, certainly. The storyline concerns an ex-convict who travels to an abandoned mine in Arizona seeking his stash of gold. He also happens to fall in love with Raquel, who lives in a village nearby this mine. All seems well, but we are anticipating two gangsters to catch up to our protagonist, whose name is Charlie Dakin, by the way, and portrayed by John Carroll. And sure enough, this sinister duo do. The two gangsters, a corrupt file clerk and Dakin, decide to pretend to have discovered the gold in the mine by natural means and then sell it to the government for a large sum of profit. It's a very fine narrative, I would say. We have a kind of noir fusion going on here. This is an early neo-western of sorts. It takes the western genre tropes, remote town, outlaws, mining scams, people being held at gunpoint, and then places them into the noirish late 1940s as metropolitan criminals decide to become fraudulent prospectors in remote Arizona. What I think I liked most of all was the religious angle which the narrative and cinematography, credited to one Reggie Lanning, emphasizes throughout the later portion of the film. I don't necessarily enjoy this for its own sake, but I'm in total admiration of what it inspired its directors and Lanning to accomplish in terms of creating an expressionistically ethereal mood. Lanning worked with Dwan both before and after Angel in Exile, before with Northwest Outpost, Rendezvous with Annie and The Inside Story, and afterward with Sands of Iwo The Wild Blue Yonder, and The Woman They Almost Lynched. He had also worked with Phillip Ford prior on The Inner Circle from 1946. A nice little picture. I will endorse Angel in Exile. I was recommended I check out Angel in Exile as the possible saving grace of Dwan's filmography throughout the 1940s, and I find myself in agreement of this.